If you are a woman over 60, this may be the most important message you hear today. Did you know that more than 40% of women past 60 struggle with balance issues, joint stiffness, or dangerous muscle loss? And many don't even realize it until one sudden fall changes everything. A fractured hip at this age isn't just painful. It can take away your independence, your freedom, and even cut your life expectancy in half. Doctors warn that after 60, our bodies begin to lose muscle mass twice as fast as before. Bones become fragile like glass, and even climbing stairs or carrying groceries can silently turn into risky challenges. But here's the good news: you don't need an expensive gym membership, heavy weights, or complicated machines to fight back. Science now shows that just a handful of simple exercises done at home for a few minutes each day can strengthen your body, protect your bones, boost your circulation, and even sharpen your memory. The truth is, one specific type of exercise has been called the miracle pill for seniors, but almost no one talks about it. And yet, women who add this routine into their daily lives not only stay mobile longer, they also look and feel years younger. Today, I'll reveal the 6 exercises that every woman over 60 must know, starting from the easiest all the way to the most powerful one that could save your independence. Number 6. Balance and stability exercises. One of the most underestimated dangers for women over 60 is not heart disease, not even arthritis, but something as simple as losing balance. According to the CDC, 1 in 3 women over 65 will fall this year, and falls remain the #1 cause of injury-related death in seniors. It often starts small, a little dizziness while reaching for something in the kitchen, or stumbling on the curb while crossing the street. Many brush it off, saying, "Oh, I'm just clumsy." But in reality, it's a warning sign that the muscles, joints, and even the inner ear responsible for balance are weakening. Researchers call this silent instability, and once it sets in, even a minor misstep can lead to a fractured hip, broken wrist, or months of painful rehabilitation. Doctors warn that a hip fracture at this age is more than an accident. It's a life-changing event. Statistics show that nearly 20% of women over 60 who suffer a hip fracture will not survive the next year, and many others will never regain full independence. Now, here's the shocking part. Most of these falls could be prevented with something as simple as balance exercises. Tai Chi, standing on one leg while holding onto a chair, heeled two-toe walking, or gentle yoga poses. They might seem too easy, but science says otherwise. A 2019 study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors who practiced just 15 minutes of balance-focused routines 3 times a week reduced their risk of falling by up to 55%. That's more effective than some medications. And there's another secret. Balance training doesn't just protect your bones, it strengthens the mind-body connection. The act of focusing on posture, controlling small movements, and engaging the core muscles activates neural pathways in the brain, which in turn helps with memory and coordination. This is why neurologists now call balance exercise brain training for the body. Think about it, just a few minutes of practice each day could mean the difference between living freely in your own home or being forced into assisted living after one avoidable accident. I knew a woman named Margaret, 63, who told me she always laughed at the idea of standing on one leg in her living room. But after a minor fall that sprained her ankle, her doctor prescribed balance training. Within months, not only did she feel steadier walking outdoors, but she also reported sleeping better, feeling calmer, and even improving her confidence. She said, "For the first time in years, I felt like my body listened to me again." That is the power of balance and stability training. It looks simple, but it can save your life. Number 5. Strength training for women over 60. When most people hear the word strength training, they imagine sweaty gyms, heavy dumbbells, and young athletes pushing their limits. But the truth is, strength training is far more important for women over 60 than it is for 20-year-olds. After menopause, the body loses estrogen, which plays a critical role in protecting muscle and bone. Without it, women can lose up to 1 to 2% of muscle mass every year after 60, and their bones become more fragile with each passing year. This process is called sarcopenia, and it doesn't just make you weaker, it steals your independence. Imagine trying to get out of a chair, lift a bag of groceries, or climb a staircase, and realizing your legs don't respond the way they used to. That's not just aging, that's preventable muscle loss. Studies confirm this. Research from Tufts University showed that women in their 60s and 70s who lifted light weights twice a week regained not only muscle, but also improved their walking speed, posture, and even immune response. In fact, strength training has been called the fountain of youth because it keeps the mitochondria in your cells, the tiny power plants, functioning like they did decades earlier. What's even more shocking is how quickly results can appear. In one clinical trial, older adults gained noticeable strength in as little as 4 weeks. And this wasn't from lifting massive weights, simple resistance bands. Light dumbbells or even body weight movements like squats and wall push-ups were enough to trigger transformation. Doctors emphasize that strength training is also one of the few proven ways to reverse osteoporosis. By stressing the bones with controlled resistance, new bone tissue is built, slowing or even reversing the dangerous thinning that puts so many women at risk for fractures. The emotional benefits are just as powerful. Women who start strength training often say it makes them feel younger, more capable, and more in control of their lives. I remember a story from Linda, age 67, who said she felt invisible after retirement, her energy fading, her back aching. She started with 2-pound weights, embarrassed at how little she could handle. But within 3 months, her posture improved. She no longer needed to grab the rail on the stairs, and her grandchildren noticed she was playing on the floor with them again. She told me through tears, "I felt like I got my life back." And she did. Because strength training gives women back their confidence as much as it gives them muscle. Another overlooked aspect is metabolism. Many seniors complain that they gain weight no matter how little they eat. The reason is simple. With less muscle, the body burns fewer calories at rest. By rebuilding muscle, you literally reset your metabolism, turning your body into a more efficient engine again. Think of it as the ultimate insurance, protecting your bones, your strength, your weight, and even your mood. And yet, despite all these benefits, only 17% of women over 60 currently engage in regular strength training. That means the majority are unknowingly allowing their independence to slip away. The good news: it's never too late. Even women in their 80s who start strength training see improvements in strength and balance. And some are able to walk again after years of being dependent on walkers. That is the miracle of this simple practice. It doesn't just slow down aging. It rewinds it in ways most people don't believe until they try it themselves. Number 4. Flexibility and stretching exercises. Flexibility is something most of us take for granted when we are younger. But by the time a woman reaches her 60s, stiffness in the joints, tight muscles, quies, and reduced range of motion can quietly steal comfort and mobility. The American College of Rheumatology reports that nearly 50% of women over 60 experience daily joint stiffness, particularly in the hips, knees, and shoulders. Many dismiss it as just arthritis, but much of it is actually preventable loss of flexibility. When muscles tighten and tendons shorten, every movement becomes harder. Reaching up into a cabinet, turning your head while driving, even tying your shoes can suddenly feel like a challenge. And worse, lack of flexibility sets the stage for injuries. A sudden twist or bend in the wrong way can tear muscles or ligaments that are already too rigid to adapt. That's why stretching exercises are not just about comfort, they're about safety. Research from Harvard Health shows that seniors who practiced regular stretching routines not only improved mobility, but also cut their risk of falls and strains by nearly 40%. Flexibility training also helps circulation because stretching opens blood vessels and delivers oxygen more efficiently to the muscles. This means you recover faster from daily activities and even sleep more deeply at night. What surprises many women is how gentle stretching affects mood. During stretching, the body releases endorphins, natural feel-good hormones that act like a mild antidepressant. It's no coincidence that women who do yoga or simple stretching report feeling calmer, less anxious, and more in control. Take the story of Janet, a 64-year-old grandmother who used to dread mornings because she woke up stiff and sore every day. Her daughter introduced her to a 15-minute stretching routine she could do while watching TV. At first, Janet laughed and said she wasn't flexible enough to stretch. But within weeks, she noticed her shoulders loosening, her back pain fading, and she could finally turn her head while driving without wincing. Months later, she admitted that stretching had improved not only her body, but her confidence. "I no longer fear moving the wrong way and getting stuck." Another benefit is posture. Poor flexibility leads to hunched shoulders and compressed spines, which make women appear and feel older than they are. By keeping the spine long and the muscles supple, stretching helps maintain an upright, youthful posture that radiates energy. Scientists from the Mayo Clinic even found that flexibility training slows the natural shrinkage that happens with age, helping women maintain their height longer. And remember, flexibility exercises don't require advanced skills. Gentle yoga, Pilates, or even simple routines like touching your toes, arm circles, or seated stretches can deliver profound results. It's about consistency, not perfection. And for women over 60, making stretching a daily ritual could mean the difference between waking up stiff and groaning or rising with ease and energy. Flexibility keeps you moving, keeps you safe, and keeps you feeling like your body is still your own, not a prison of aches and limits. Number 3. Cardiovascular or aerobic exercises. Heart disease remains the #1 killer of women over 60. And yet so many underestimate the simple power of movement to keep the heart strong. Cardiovascular exercises, walking, swimming, cycling, even dancing are more than just a way to stay active. They are the single most powerful tool for extending life expectancy and preventing chronic disease. The American Heart Association warns that women past 60 who remain sedentary are twice as likely to suffer a heart attack or stroke compared to those who move just 20 minutes a day. Think about that. Something as simple as walking around the block can literally cut your risk of dying in half. Aerobic exercise works by strengthening the heart muscle, improving circulation, lowering blood pressure, and increasing lung capacity. But the benefits go even deeper. New studies show that aerobic activity stimulates brain growth in the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. This means every brisk walk or swim is also protecting you against dementia and Alzheimer's disease. A landmark 2020 study from the Mayo Clinic tracked seniors who walked at least 150 minutes per week and found they had a 35% lower risk of cognitive decline than their less active peers. The emotional benefits are just as striking. Aerobic exercise triggers the release of serotonin and dopamine, natural mood enhancers, which is why women who walk or swim regularly report lower levels of depression and anxiety. I think of Mary, age 62, who told me she felt trapped in her own home after retirement, her energy dwindling and her mood sinking. Her doctor suggested she start walking 3 times a week. At first, she could barely manage 10 minutes before her knees ached, but she kept at it. By the 3rd month, she was walking 30 minutes with ease. Her blood pressure had dropped, and she told me with a smile, "I feel alive again. That transformation is real, and it happens faster than most expect." Another overlooked benefit is how aerobic activity protects the immune system. Seniors who engage in moderate cardio have higher levels of natural killer cells, the immune warriors that fight off viruses and even some cancers. And unlike medications, aerobic exercise comes with no dangerous side effects. It's also incredibly adaptable. Swimming is gentle on the joints. Cycling builds stamina without pounding the knees, and even dancing in your living room counts as heart-protecting movement. The key is consistency. The body doesn't care if you're at a gym, in a pool, or on a neighborhood sidewalk. What matters is that you move, that you breathe deeply, and that your heart works a little harder than it does at rest. For women over 60, cardiovascular exercise is not about vanity. It's about survival. Every heartbeat strengthened today is a heartbeat saved tomorrow. And the beauty is, you don't need to wait years to feel the benefits. Within weeks of regular cardio, women report sleeping better, thinking clearer, and feeling more energetic in daily life. It is, quite simply, the cornerstone of senior health. Number 2. Core strengthening exercises. When most women hear the word core, they imagine flat stomach workouts or sit-ups from their younger days. But after 60, the core takes on a completely different meaning. It becomes the foundation of your stability, your posture, and your ability to move safely. The core isn't just the abdominal muscles you see in magazines. It's an interconnected system of deep muscles that wrap around your midsection, support your spine, and connect your upper and lower body. Weakness here is one of the main reasons older women struggle with back pain, lose balance, or even develop digestive problems. The National Institute on Aging warns that core weakness is a silent factor in falls and spinal injuries. Because without that support, every step and twist puts dangerous strain on the back. What's fascinating is how quickly core training pays off. In one study at the University of Florida, seniors who practiced simple core exercises like seated leg lifts, bridges, and gentle planks for just 8 weeks reported dramatic improvements in stability and reduced back pain. Their walking speed improved, their posture straightened, and their daily activities felt easier. Imagine going from struggling to bend down and tie your shoes to moving with ease, simply because the muscles around your center are finally doing their job again. The digestive system also benefits. Stronger abdominal and pelvic floor muscles help improve circulation in the gut, reducing bloating and constipation to common complaints among older women. And for those dealing with urinary incontinence, core strengthening, especially through pelvic floor training, can provide life-changing relief. I remember speaking with Carol, a 60-year-old woman who had quietly stopped going to social events because she feared embarrassing leaks when she laughed or sneezed. She began a daily routine of gentle pelvic tilts and breathing-focused core exercises. Within 3 months, her symptoms improved so dramatically that she regained her confidence and said, "I felt like I got my freedom back." That is the unseen power of the core. It's not about vanity. It's about dignity and independence. Neurologists also point out that training the core improves the brain's ability to coordinate movement. Because so many small, stabilizing muscles fire together during core work, it strengthens the communication between the brain and the body. That means fewer missteps, fewer awkward movements, and a smoother, more confident way of walking and standing. And unlike heavy strength training, core exercises require little or no equipment. A yoga mat, a chair, or even just the edge of your bed can be enough. Gentle rotations, seated twists, or balance balls add variety without stress. The key is consistency, doing a few minutes each day. For women over 60, a strong core is the difference between moving through the world cautiously, fearing pain or accidents, and moving with confidence, knowing your body can support you. It's not just about muscles, it's about reclaiming stability at the very center of your life. Number 1. Walking, the ultimate exercise for women over 60. Sometimes the most powerful solution is also the simplest, and walking is living proof of that. For women over 60, walking is more than just a way to get from one place to another. It is the single most important exercise for extending life, protecting the heart, strengthening bones, and preserving independence. The statistics are jaw-dropping. A large study from Harvard Medical School followed 16,000 older women and found that those who walked at least 30 minutes a day had a 40% lower risk of dying in the next decade compared to those who barely moved. Another study published in JAMA showed that seniors who reached 8,000 steps per day had nearly half the risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. That's not a pill. That's not surgery. That's simply walking. Yet, despite this, many underestimate it, thinking it's too easy to make a difference. But doctors now call walking the closest thing we have to a miracle drug. Here's why. Walking strengthens the largest muscles in your legs and hips, which in turn improves balance and reduces the risk of falls. It stimulates bone growth, fighting osteoporosis. It boosts circulation, lowering blood pressure and cholesterol. It even activates the lymphatic system, the body's natural detox system, helping fight off infections and cancers. And unlike high-intensity workouts, walking is gentle on the joints, making it accessible to nearly every woman, no matter her fitness level. But the benefits go far beyond the physical. Walking is also medicine for the brain. Each step increases blood flow to the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, which is why women who walk regularly show a much lower risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. In fact, a Stanford study found that walking boosts creativity and problem-solving by up to 60%. That's why so many women say their best ideas come during a walk. And let's not ignore the emotional healing it brings. Walking outdoors reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, almost instantly. Many women over 60 describe it as therapy without the therapist. Take Susan, 61, who told me she felt trapped in her own routine after retirement. Her blood pressure was climbing, she couldn't sleep, and she feared her health was slipping away. Her doctor suggested a simple prescription: walk every day. She started with 10 minutes, slowly building to 45. 6 months later, her blood pressure was back in the normal range. She'd lost 15 pounds. And she told me, "I feel like I've added years to my life." That is the quiet but extraordinary power of walking. And unlike gym memberships or fancy machines, it costs nothing but a pair of shoes. Some women fear it's not enough, but research shows that even short, consistent walks are profoundly protective. A Japanese study revealed that seniors who walked just 20 minutes 5 times a week lowered their risk of heart attack and stroke by 30%. And when walking is done outdoors in natural light, it adds another hidden benefit. Exposure to sunlight boosts vitamin D, which protects bones and enhances mood. That means walking is not just exercise, it's also nature's antidepressant. For women struggling with loneliness, it can also become a social ritual. Walking with a friend, a neighbor, or even a pet provides connection that strengthens mental health as much as the body. Think of it this way: strength training, flexibility, balance, they're all important. But walking is the glue that holds everything together. It's accessible, effective, safe, and life-extending. Every step is an investment in your future self, a silent vote for independence and vitality. And while it may seem too ordinary to matter, it may be the very reason you remain active, independent, and full of life well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Walking is not just number one on this list. It is the foundation upon which all other exercises rest. We've now uncovered the 6 most essential exercises every woman over 60 must know: balance and stability, routines to prevent devastating falls, strength training to preserve muscles and bones, stretching to keep joints supple and pain-free, cardiovascular workouts to protect the heart and brain, core strengthening to stabilize and empower your entire body, and finally, walking, the ultimate and most powerful tool of all. Each one on its own is life-changing, but together, they form a shield that can protect your independence. your confidence, and even add years to your life. The truth is, aging doesn't have to mean decline. Science proves that the human body is capable of rebuilding, adapting, and thriving at any age. But it won't happen by accident. It happens by choosing to move, by deciding that your future health is worth the effort today. I know many women hesitate, worrying that it's too late or too hard, but the evidence and the stories we've shared show the opposite. From Margaret, who regained her balance, to Linda, who rebuilt her strength, to Janet, who freed herself from stiffness, to Susan, who walked her way back to vitality, these women are proof that small, consistent choices create extraordinary results. And now it's your turn. Even just 10 minutes a day can set the course for a stronger, freer, healthier tomorrow. Remember, you don't need perfection, you need persistence. The gift of these exercises is not just a longer life, but a better one, filled with energy, freedom, and the confidence that your body is still truly yours. So tell me, which of these 6 exercises do you already practice, and which will you start today? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's learn from each other's journeys. And if this inspired you, don't forget to subscribe, because your best years can still be ahead of you.